Hi, all of you. We have to do question number 21 of cash flow statement. We're going to discuss in this video question number 21 of CFS. It's given in page number 70 of our material. This question was asked in May 2019 attempt. So let's read this question first. The following information was provided by PQR. They've given us the GP ratio 25%, which amounts to rupees 3,75,000. So GP ratio was 25% and GP in rupees is 3,75,000. We all know that with sales amount, with the total sales, if you multiply the GP percentage, then we will get to know GP in rupees. And nothing mentioned, a GP percentage is always expressed on sales. So from this equation, we can find out the amount of sales made by the total sales made by the entity during the entire accounting year. Sales multiplied by 25% is equal to 3,75,000. So therefore, GP is equal to 3 lakh, not GP, I'm sorry. Therefore, sales is equal to 3,75,000 divided by 25%. So this is the total sales made by the entity in the entire year. And this happens to be the cash sales because they have clearly told in point number B, point number 2, that company sells goods only for cash. And this will be recorded in operating activity. Then they are saying opening inventory was lesser than closing inventory by 25,000. The difference between opening stock and closing stock is 25,000. Wages paid during the year, office expenses paid during the year, selling and distribution expenses paid during the year. So all the paid information they have given. Dividend paid during the year, bank loan repaid, wages paid operating activity, office expenses operating activity, selling expenses operating activity, dividend paid financing activity, bank loan repaid financing activity. The difference, this trade payable, the difference between opening and closing balance of trade payables would be considered in working capital changes. And if you are solving the question by direct method, then we will prepare one trade payables account or creditors account to find out the amount paid to creditors, which will be recorded as a cash outflow in operating activity. And if we are solving the question by indirect method, then it will be required in working capital changes. Now, they have directly given us amount paid to trade payables. So if they have already directly given us amount paid for trade payables, we need not prepare the creditors account to find out the amount paid to trade payables. So under direct method, this information becomes useless because from this information, the only thing which we are going to obtain is by preparing creditors account, we can get the amount paid to creditors, but that has already been provided to us in point number 10. So under direct method, point number 9 becomes useless. Income tax paid will come in operating activity. Income tax paid. Provision for taxation under direct method is of no use because the formula or the procedure for calculating cash flow from operating activity under direct method is from the transaction which falls under the heading of operating activity, whatever cash has been received will be recorded as an inflow. And from the transaction which falls under the heading of operating activity, whatever cash has been paid will be recorded as an outflow. Then we will deduct tax paid and we will adjust extraordinary item to arrive at cash flow from operating activity under direct method. So it's quite simple under direct method. All we have to do is that whatever money we have received from the transactions which falls under the heading of operating activity, like cash sales, collection from debtors, we have to add it and we have to deduct all the payments which we have made for the items which are classified under operating activity, like payment to creditors, wages, selling and distribution expenses paid, all those stuffs we have to minus, we will get, and we have to minus tax paid, and then we'll get cash flow from operating activity. So all the other information are useless. These information are useful only under indirect method, not under direct method. Investments, investing activity, depreciation, no use under direct method. Again, depreciation, no use under direct method. Plant and machinery purchased, investing activity. Then on 31st March 2019, rupees 2 lakh 7% debentures were issued at face value in an exchange for a plant. So you issued debenture, the entity has issued debenture, but in return, the entity didn't receive cash, the entity received plant. So if you record a journal entry for this transaction, in that journal entry, cash will not be involved. The journal entry will be plant account debit to debenture. Since cash will not be involved in that journal entry, since cash is not involved in that journal entry, so it's a non-cash transaction, it will not be recorded. It will not come up anywhere in cash flow statement. And further, if you observe, it has been issued, the debentures have been issued at the last day of the year. So even interest on debentures will not come up on these debentures. We don't have to pay interest on debentures also on these debentures. Under which method? Direct method. Indirect method, we'll discuss it separately. All right. Next. So interest on debenture will not come up because it's given on the debentures are issued at the last day of the year. So in this year, interest on debenture is not going to arise. And this is a non-cash item, so we will ignore it. Whether direct or whether indirect method. Operating activity is the only activity which is prepared under direct or indirect method. Other activities, so direct method only is there. Opening balance of cash and cash equivalents. Then they are asking us to prepare cash flow statement using direct method, first requirement, and then they are saying calculate the cash flow from operating activity using indirect method. So first is prepare cash flow statement using which method? Direct method. Let's do that. Then we will discuss the second part of the question which they have asked. Question number 21. Cash flow statement of PQR Limited for the year ended 31st March 2019. This is our heading. First, we are doing it by using direct method. So this is part A of the answer. Same way, first establish the format of cash flow statement, then read the question top to bottom, line by line, and keep on writing at appropriate places. Cash flow from operating activity. Now, since we are calculating the cash flow from operating activity under direct method, those 5 steps and all are not required. Net profit, those things are not required. Directly, whatever is received from the transaction which falls under operating activity, add it, and whatever payments we have made for the transaction which falls under operating activity, minus it, we'll get the answer. Right now, everybody? We have cash flow from investing activity. In exam, we are not required to write short forms. Sir, we know it. We are not required to write short forms. You have told us many times. So tentatively, I have given the space. Later, I can increase and decrease it at my own wish. So we have net cash flows. With that, we'll add opening CCE and then we'll get closing CC. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's start with the posting. First one. The first item is GP. From GP, we can find out the cash sales, and cash sales will be recorded in operating activity. So we'll write over here working note number one, although we have already discussed it, but still we have to show an exam in the form of a working note, that how did we derive the cash sales figure. So working note number one, calculation of cash sales. So what they are saying, we all know that with sales, if we multiply GP percentage, we'll get GP in rupees. And question has given us GP percentage, and question has given us GP in rupees. These two information the question has given to us. So we are going to use these two answers. We'll put these two answers in the equation, and we can derive the amount of sales made during the year. And all the sales were cash sales. So there is no credit sales. This is full cash transaction, which will be put on the cash flow statement. 15 lakhs. We are going to write this 15 lakh on the case of CFS. Next item. The next item is the first two items we have done. Keep on putting a tick mark besides the item we have dealt with. Third, opening inventory is less than closing inventory. Guys, it's nothing but the difference between the opening and the closing stock. It will be recorded in working capital changes. It is of no use under direct method. So we'll just ignore it. Under indirect method, there is one adjustment which comes in step number 3, working capital changes. In that working capital changes, we write the difference between opening stock and closing stock. There we are going to use it, not over here. Right, all of you? Okay. So ignore that information under direct method. Wages paid during the year. So it would be recorded in operating activity as a cash outflow. Wages paid. The wages paid is 5,55,000. After wages paid, the next information is office expenses paid 35,000. Office expenses paid 35,000. Next, selling expenses paid 15,000. Again, our operating activity. Routine business operations. 15,000. Then after that, dividend paid. Guys, dividend paid comes under the heading of financing activity. They are saying including dividend distribution tax. Now dividend distribution tax has been abolished. But even if dividend distribution tax is given in the question, it's just wherever the expense comes related to that expense, whatever tax is there, that will also come under that heading. Wherever the income comes related to that income, whatever tax is specifically given, that will also come under that heading. So dividend paid comes under the heading of financing activity. So even dividend distribution tax, put it under financing activity. Amount is Let's see, dividend paid 40,000, including dividend distribution tax. 40,000 cash outflow. Next. Then they have told bank loan repaid during the year 2 lakh 5. In this 5,000 is interest. Guys, bank loan repaid principal amount also comes in financing activity. And even the expense on that borrowings, since the borrowing comes under financing activity, the expense also related to that borrowings, we'll put it under financing activity. Bank loan repaid, including interest. It is 2 lakh 5,000. Repayment of bank loan as well as interest, both comes under financing activity. Next one. Point number 9, again, no use. We have already discussed it. It comes in working capital changes and we are solving the question by direct method. So ignore it. Then tax paid, not tax paid, amount paid to trade payables. So amount paid to trade payables will come under operating activity. Cash payments to trade payables. Amount is 6,10,000. All right. Then income tax paid during the year, 55,000. Provision for taxation is of no use in direct method. In direct method, all you have to do from the transaction which falls under the heading of operating activity, whatever cash has come in and whatever cash is gone out because of those transactions, directly you have to do addition and subtraction. Nothing else. The rest, all the things, ignore it. It's that simple. All right, sir. So minus, this will be called cash generated from operations before tax. Cash generated from operations before tax. Cash generated from operations before tax. 15 lakh minus 6 lakh 10 minus 555,000 minus 35 minus 15. So it's coming to 2,85,000. And then we will minus tax paid, which is given in one of the adjustments in the question. And tax paid is 55,000. 2,85,000 minus 55,000, it comes to 2,30,000. What is this 2,30,000? This 2,30,000 is cash flow from operating activity. Net cash flow from operating activity, 2,30,000. Okay, next one. Then they are saying this we have done. Investments of rupees 8,20,000 was sold during the year at a profit of 20,000. So investment of 820 means this is the book value of investment. They were sold at a profit of 20. This means we sold it for 8,40,000. Sale of investment will be recorded in investing activity. $8,40,000. 8,20,000 plus 20 comes to 8,40,000. Next, depreciation of furniture under direct method, it is of no use because under direct method, you know it, we directly consider the cash paid and received from the transactions falling under the respective headings. Under indirect method, in step number 2, we add back this depreciation. Ignore it. Depreciation on other tangible assets, ignore it. Under direct method, ignore it. Plant and machinery purchased for 3,50,000. Yes, this will come under financing activity. Purchase of plant and machinery for 3,50,000. Then point number 16, as we have already discussed, it's a non-cash transaction. We have purchased a plant by issue of debenture. So neither cash is coming in nor cash is going out. So ignore it. And this transaction will be ignored both in direct and indirect method. And we have to write a note that this particular transaction has been ignored because it does not involve any cash flow. So that note we have to write in exam. Interest on this debenture has also been ignored. The reason being the debentures were issued at the last day of the year. And then they have given us the opening CCE. That's the opening CCE. So opening CCE information is 2,25,000. That's it. Time to do the backup. 8,40,000 minus 3,50,000 will come to 4,90,000. This is our net cash flow from investing activity. Then we have to calculate the net cash flow from financing activity, with only two items are there. So it will be 2,45,000 negative net cash flow from financing activity. All right, sir. 2,45,000. And then chartered accountants will get, if you do A plus B plus C, those yellow color highlighted paragraphs, if we add it, we'll get the net cash flow. Yellow color highlighted sentences. 4,75,000. It's our net cash flow. So all the activities together. With this, if we add opening CCE, we will get closing CCE, which is 7 lakh. So first, what we will do, first I want you to copy the cash flow statement under direct method. Then we will solve the second requirement of the question. Second requirement, they have not asked us to prepare again the entire cash flow statement, naturally, because if they will ask us to prepare cash flow statement entirely, then IA and FA will be same. The only difference will be in OA. So they have asked only OA under indirect method. But before that, copy. I will wait on every page for around 5 to 10 seconds so that you can pause it and you can copy. Oh, only one page is involved. Now we will solve the same question under direct method. Calculation of cash flow state, calculation of operating activity. from operating activity under indirect method. The indirect method. First, we'll set up the format. Step number 1, net profit before tax and extraordinary items. Net profit before tax and extraordinary items. That we have to calculate in a working mode. This calculation will do it in working note 1. Now listen, the questions which we did in the class, in that question, the net profit before tax and extraordinary items, we used to find out by taking the difference in P&L account, difference in reserves, add dividend declared, add a provision for taxation debited to PL, add or less extraordinary items. Because the data which was given in those questions, for those type of questions, that was the suitable way of solving it as per the data provided to us. But in this question, they have not given us any opening balance sheet, closing balance sheet, that we can take the difference in PL, difference in reserves. We can't do those stuffs, right? In this question, profit before tax would be found out in the most simplest and easiest way. Start from the gross profit. We know gross profit is sales minus COGS. From gross profit minus all the indirect expenses. Indirect expenses, not direct expenses, because GP is already after direct expenses. So only indirect expenses, then you will get profit before tax. So calculation of net profit before tax. Number 1, let's start with gross profit. 3,75,000. Gross profit is already after deducting wages. So kindly again do not deduct wages. Minus office expenses. If you see in the question, they have given in one of the adjustment office expenses 35,000. I'm not again moving to the question slide and to the answer slide. Question is there in front of you in your book. Minus selling expenses 15,000. Then minus depreciation. Depreciation has been given towards the last part of the question. I will show it to you. 40,000 depreciation they have given, and they have given on other tangible assets depreciation 20. So total depreciation 60,000. So we have got these information. Then there is some profit on sale of investment. Profit on sale of investment. Of 20,000. Then there is interest paid on loan 5,000. So what are we doing, all of you? From sales, where do you minus? We need profit before tax. In all the questions which we did in the class, we till now we were calculating in a different way because this kind of data was not available to us. They never gave they didn't give us this kind of information. If they would have given this kind of information, then directly we would have computed profit before tax like this only. Since this kind of information was not available, so we used to compute it by taking the difference in PL, difference in GR, etc. In this question, they have not given the balance sheets and all, but they have given all the information by which we can find out the profit before tax in the in a straight and easiest way. So from sales minus COGS, we'll get GP. GP is already after wages. So we don't have to again deduct wages, minus office expenses, selling expenses, depreciation, add profit on sale of investment, and minus interest paid on bank loan. Means all the expenses other than tax, minus it, all the incomes other than tax, add it, you will get profit before tax. 3,75,000 minus 35 minus 15 minus 60 plus 20 minus 5. So we'll get 2,80,000. I repeat, wages has not been deducted because GP is already after wages. Wages not deducted in the above solution. As it is already after, as it is already after, as GP is already after wages. So let's put it 28,000. 2,80,000, not 28,000. So that's our step number 1. Now step number 2. Adjustment for non-cash items. Adjustments for non-cash items and non-operating items. First one, depreciation. Pretty simple. Total depreciation is 60,000. Then what are the other non-cash items? There are no other non-cash items, but there are non-operating items like interest paid. We know all the expenses and incomes which belongs to other activities, that is activities other than operating activities. We have to eliminate it, then only we'll get to know the cash flow from operating activity. Interest paid is 5,000. Then there is profit on sale of investment. There's profit on sale of investment. Profit on sale of investment would have been credited to PL. So profit would have increased. So now we have to, but this is not an operating activity item. So now to find out the operating activity cash flow, we have to remove it. We will get cash flow from operating activity before working capital changes. So it will be 3,25,000. Next, step number 3. Adjustment for working capital changes. Adjustment for working capital changes. We have to refer point number 2, point number 3. If you read point number 3, they are saying opening inventory was lesser than closing inventory by rupees 25,000. This means that there is a increase in closing stock. Sorry, increase in stock. Opening inventory was lesser. If opening inventory was lesser than closing inventory, this means the stock has increased. Suppose opening was 100, closing is 125. Then we say that opening inventory is lesser than closing inventory by 25. So this means that stock has increased during the year. So in simple words, this is nothing but increase in stock. So if opening inventory is lesser, this means closing inventory is more. This means stock has increased during the year. So increase in stock. We all know current assets has inverse relationship. So increase in stock, increase in stock will be recorded as a negative figure. How much it is? 25,000. They have directly given us the difference only. Fine. Then next is trade payables. Opening trade payable is 50,000 and closing trade payable is 35,000. So there is a decrease in trade payable by 15,000. Decrease in trade payables by 15,000. Trade payables and we has a direct relationship with the cash flow. So when it decreases, we will write it as a negative figure. The reasons we understood in the class, why we write it as a negative figure. Logic we understood in the class discussion. There is no other working capital changes items. There is no debtor or prepaid expenses, outstanding expenses. So ignore it. Okay, chartered accountants, we will get cash flow from operating activity or cash flow from operations before tax. So before tax, it will be 3,24, 3,25 minus 40,000, 2,85,000. Now we have to minus the tax. Minus tax paid, step number 4. Let's see how much is tax paid. Tax paid is given in adjustment number 11 and it's 55,000. Tax paid 55,000. We'll get net cash flow from operating activity. Two lakh 85 minus 55. 2,30,000. Now all the CS, guys, one question which every student asks, I will discuss that, but before discussing that, the answer which we got under direct method, one second, I've written it correct, 2,30,000. We got an answer of 2,30,000 under indirect method. Same answer we have got under direct method. So both the methods ultimately gives the same answer, but the way we get the answer, the way we calculate the answer is different. Here also we got 2,30,000 under direct method. Here also we got 2,30,000 under indirect method. Now the question which usually is asked by students, sir, you didn't do anything with provision for taxation. Why? Why you didn't do? The answer to this question is, till now, whatever questions we have done in the class, they used to give us the profit after tax. They never used to give us the profit before tax. So when they used to give us the profit after tax, to find out the profit before tax, whatever PFT we have debited to PL, we used to add back. In this question, we started with GP and then we deducted all the expenses other than tax. So directly we arrived at profit before tax. From profit before tax, when you will minus this 30,000, then you will get PAT. In all the previous questions, we used to have PAT, and from PAT to reach PBT, we used to add back the tax debited to PL. But in this question, we started only with sales, COGS, minus expenses. So we never reached the tax deduction part. Before the tax deduction part only was PBT. This is the reason this PFT is of no use in the entire question. In simple words, in all the previous questions, they used to give us the profits which were after taxes. So to find out the profit before taxes, we used to add back. In this question, we directly from the GP minus all the expenses other than taxes. Since we minus all the expenses other than taxes, we got PBT directly. So there is no use of PFT debited to P&L account in that computation. So we ignored it. Copy all of you. This is the solution for question number 21. This is the answer we have discussed. On every page, I will wait for around 5 seconds. So you can pause and accordingly copy.